What's up, everybody? Cool Sports Guy here. Off to a good start this week. We're getting ready to bring in the first week of the NFL. With me, as always, we got Jarrett coming in today. How you doing, sir?
Doing pretty good.
Awesome. And then our also good friend Tom. How you doing, sir?
I am great.
Excellent. I'm pumped. 0 days till kickoff. This is a great day. Great day in America. Great day in the world. So, how you guys feeling
Pretty
about
good.
football?
Yeah, excited is basically the go-to word. Football's back.
We already know who Jared's picking for tonight's game.
Oh, we have no idea at all.
No, I know who we're picking for this Sunday. Oh, there was. Side note. That's just But today we're going to be exploring. We're going to do a little deep dive, I guess. We're going to do. We're talking about Survivor Pool. Cool Sports Guy Survivor Pool is the first time we've done one of these, so hopefully we can survive longer than a week. Secondly, we're going to do a little deep dive into players this week on Thursday Night Football. And at the end, we're going to make a selection for Thursday night and see, surprise, surprise, who Jared goes for in this game. So without further ado, say we jump right in, guys. Let's see. Got a fancy PowerPoint here. Cool Sports Guy, week 1 of the NFL. So as we mentioned, if anybody knows Survivor Pool, you pick one team each week. Once you pick that team, you're not able to pick that team again. You keep winning, you keep playing. If you lose, you're out. Sounds pretty fair, guys? Easy enough?
I just have one question.
You can bring 2 if you need to.
What if by week 3, all 3 of us are out? Are we going to
stop
this pool?
Zero chance that happens.
We're going to stop playing this game and move on to another game, I guess, and forget that we ever tried this. But I have a lot of faith in us. I think we can get past week 3, but, I see where your mind is at. I think we can make it to at least week 5, sir, don't you think?
I don't know. I'm confident. I feel like week 11 is when I might start to struggle, but I think until then I'll be solid. But if you go off of like me and Tom's locks off last season, when we started doing those, then we're going to be out this week. So we shall see.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to bust any balls here, but it's never mind. My math is wrong, but I think I don't think we're gonna make it to week 11. There are some surprises that happens in the NFL, and it's gonna.
Oh man, yeah. If the last season is any indication, you don't know what to expect anymore. It's just anybody can win any given Sunday. That movie is a true story. So yes,
it was.
So I think we can make. You know what? I'm gonna give us till week 9. I think we can make that over under 8.5. I go with the over.
What? So when you say us to week 9, you're saying there's at least going to be a man standing, or all 3 of us are going to be getting past week 9?
I'm going to say 2 of us.
I want to bet the under on that. I think at least one of us will be out.
All right, I'm going to go with the over. I think at least 2 of us will make it to week 9. So.
Okay, I like that 2 of us part, because I was going to say I can just lose week 2 and then win it.
yeah, for real. Let's just go.
Ooh.
Let's just win that bet right off the bat. Not too shabby. I like your style there. But yeah, pretty easy enough. I think we can do it, man. I think
you make that week 10. I'll bet the over under on 2. I'll bet the under on 2.
Okay, fair enough. Let's see what we got in store then. So first one on the list to pick Survivor Pool picks is Jarrett. Just a random roll. That was like a Price is Right roll. Yeah, I'm sorry, man.
So hopefully I don't curse the team that I decided to pick as my Survivor pick. I probably could have went more in depth on everything, like looked at every team's schedule to find the best possible matchup for every team. I didn't do that. From week 1, I looked at the good teams playing some bad teams, and I was like, okay, well, I'll look at their week 2 matchups and see who they're playing to decide it. I didn't go any further than that. And so for week 1, I decided that I feel like probably the worst team in the league this week might be the New York Jets starting Joe Flacco. So for my Survivor pick, I did pick the Baltimore Ravens to beat the New York Jets.
All right, fair enough. And what is have you checked the money line? You didn't check any of the research on what they're favored right now?
I don't do research. I do off the dome. That's all I need.
I need stats. I need money. I need money line. I need over unders. I need all that information in front of me. And I can tell you that the Baltimore Ravens, if I can find it, I'm pretty sure they're minus 320 on the money line. On the money line, so that means they're heavily favored. They're probably one of the highest favored teams right now against the Jets that are plus 250. So, solid pick though. I mean, you got your pick in there. It will get harder as we go. I think that one should hopefully be a lock, but you never know these days. Maybe the Jets.
If Joe Flacco ruins me week 1, I'll just retire from podcasting. Like,
you just never know, man. You can try it out. You can make it work. See what happens. But not too bad. I think the spread is -7. Yeah, -7 +7. So
it's a 7-point spread, and they're playing in New York. So essentially, all the betting lines are letting the Baltimore Ravens are 10 points on a neutral field better than the New York Jets.
Yes, sir. Not too bad.
Listen, Jarrett, pretty good pick. Here's the problem. So I never done survival pool before. It's my first time ever doing it. I picked my survival pool winner for this week within 45 seconds after Jose explained to me what it was. Worst mistake I've ever made.
Whoa.
I really wish I put more thought into it. And I quite frankly, I didn't. I literally looked through the game and I was like, okay, which one of those is a for sure answer? And I came up with the for sure pick. Don't think I'm going to get eliminated week 1, but I really hope this pick does not come back and bite me in the butt 4, 5, 6 weeks later. I, too, picked the Baltimore Ravens. And I was looking at it today, and I went, you know what? Why didn't I just pick the Broncos to beat the Seahawks? Because
see, yeah, that was my second place choice. But we can get into why I didn't pick the Broncos later. But
I mean, I think this is a better pick than that. But yeah, I really wish I did my homework, did my research, looked ahead to some of the games and, think ahead a little bit, but I didn't. It's okay. It is what it is. It sucks that you can't pick the same team every week. I'll just pick the Bucs every week. But yeah, so I too have the Baltimore Ravens winning. I think people are forgetting about Lamar Jackson and how great he can be.
He's my quarterback. He's my quarterback in fantasy.
Oh, there you go. I gotta set my lineup after this pod here.
I was hoping you wouldn't remember because I played against you this week.
Do you play me this week?
Yeah, I do.
Oh my god, that's a tough week one. Hey, there's my survival pool pick.
There you go.
All right. So, nonetheless, yes, I do have the Baltimore Ravens winning it.
Very good. I feel like this is like a jackpot. Like a slot machine right now. So all I need to do is just spin mine, get that third Raven in there, and there should be. But it doesn't. I don't ever work that way. So
if you have the Texans on there, you're eliminated right now. Don't even,
sir. How dare you? By the way, it was a typo in that email. Okay, I did pick the Broncos over Seattle. So if information, yes, I'm just saying I was advised. I don't know why. Never mind. We'll get into that later. Anyways, the Broncos over Seattle. You heard it here first.
So you mean to tell me you did not have your Super Bowl appearing team lose against the worst team in the NFL this year?
No. I had them winning against that team. Yes, of course. So my pick came. Yes, I went the opposite way of you guys and getting the straight up lock. So I went for a little bit tighter contest. Spread wise, at least, which I think it might be. I mean, who knows how backup quarterbacks will do. So I went and thought, I should go with the best comeback player of the year and see how well he's going to do. And I think the Panthers should come out on top. It's a very tight game. Money line's like even right now. So on this game, I think Baker might take a shot at this.
I know I picked the Panthers to win this game, but I feel like that's a very risky one for week 1.
Yes, it is.
That's what I was going to say. It's smart what you did by taking a quarterback less Browns team as your prey for the Panthers to feast on. I get it. I get where you're coming from, and it's very smart because once Christian McCaffrey's out, and I hate being that jerk of a guy who says Christian McCaffrey's just going to get hurt, but
yeah, very fair. That's fair.
Smart, but risky, man. But
it's super risky. I might be out in the week 1, and that's why I made that bet. I'm happy we win.
For the McCaffrey thing alone, though, I don't hate picking the Panthers early because you have to get it out of the way, like you said, before McCaffrey goes down with an injury.
Yeah, very true.
It just sucks to put it that way. That's all it is.
right? Hopefully he can make it a full season. I'd love to see what
I
he's
would love
got.
for him to
Well,
stay
McCaffrey,
healthy.
whenever he's healthy, is one of the best running
He's
backs in the league, and
great.
so
Yeah.
exciting to watch. And I love McCaffrey, but he never stays healthy, so
Mm-hmm.
it's just not great for the Panthers.
Man, well, yeah, but this almost looked like a nice slot machine right here, but it's okay. We can't only
You
we'll get
lost your
that later
25
on.
cents. I'm sorry.
For real, I'll spin again next week. Hopefully, I get to spin again next week. So, all right, Thursday night thinkers. I don't know. I'm workshopping the name for this hypotheticals and everything. So I got a few scenarios that are happening this Thursday night. Well, one of them well, these are all going to be like for the season right now, but I want to know what y'all think happens first. So the first one, we're going to go with the quarterbacks. If you guys will indulge me, we're going to go with Matthew Stafford, and on the other side, Josh Allen. And the question is, what happens first? So right now, John Stafford, that's what his name is. I just put that in there. I hope you guys will bear with me. He is currently, I think, in 12th place all-time passing yards, and he needs how many yards? I'll get that in a minute. I'll get to that in a minute because I have the information later.
It's the most important part of this. He's only 600 yards away.
You'll know all the information here in a minute. As soon as I present it, here you go. Anyways, second question is, or will Josh Allen overtake Mark Sanchez and he can move into 149th place of all time? Clearly, they've thrown for a little bit less, And how many yards do these people have, you ask? I'm glad you asked. Here's the next slide right there. Matthew Stafford currently has 49,995 yards, and he needs 1,481 to surpass John Elway. That'll move him into 11th place. He's averaging 274 yards per game. Okay. Now, as for Josh Allen, currently 14,114 yards, played a little bit less than Matthew Stafford. He needs 1,244 to surpass, and he averages 231 a game. So kind of evenly matched. The math adds up right there. That yardage that they need right there to make those is about 5 games, right? So Matthew Stafford is playing the Bills, Falcons, Cardinals, 49ers, and Cowboys. And Josh Allen is playing the Rams, the Titans, the Dolphins, the Ravens, and Steelers. It's kind of even. So whoever wants to take this one first, I give you a lot of information, a lot to take in right now. I get that, but hopefully it's easily digestible.
I like it. You want to go first, Tom? You go first.
I love the question. When I looked at the stats you just threw out there, I immediately was so ready to just pick Josh Allen and say, dude, he's gonna hit 1,200 yards before Matthew Stafford hits 1,500 yards. But then you put the teams that they're playing out there, and I'm like, ooh, this is gonna be a fun one because Rams have really good defense, but so does the Bills. I get that part. But then you look at Titans versus Falcons. The Titans have a much better defense, in my opinion. And then you look at Cardinals, Dolphins, kind of on the same page. 49ers, Ravens, I think the Ravens have a tougher defense. And then Cowboys, Steelers, I think the Steelers have a tougher defense. So this is a tough one for me. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, I love Matthew Stafford. I have to go with Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen is on a hot streak right now, and I think Josh Allen is out to prove something a lot more than Matthew Stafford does. I know Super Bowl winners don't necessarily have hangovers, but they are coming off a Super Bowl. They are on cloud 9 right now. They feel like they're up there. Maybe one of these 5 teams will bring them down a notch until they realize, hey, we need to get back in it. Last year's and this year. But Josh Allen, on the other hand, is 2 years in a row in the playoffs, lost. I don't know if you guys saw, he just the other day posted about, maybe it was today, he just said pain, and it showed all the score changes against Kansas City in the playoffs within the 2 minutes.
Wow.
And he is fired up, and I'm excited for him. So I have to pick Josh Allen. I think he's just gonna go in there, and I think he's just gonna ball out.
Not bad, yeah.
By the way, real quick, I'll add on to it. Do you guys think it's gonna take all 5 games, or which game do you think they'll get to before they beat these records? Because I'm gonna give Josh Allen until maybe the Ravens. I think he'll surpass us before, like either during the Ravens game or towards the end of the Dolphins game.
I would be thinking.
I'm going to go with the Ravens game. Week 4, I think he's going to beat it.
As far as that question, I think like what you have laid out, I think Rams Titans might be a little bit difficult. Dolphins maybe can get a high yardage on that one. But I would say you probably need all 5 games, in my opinion. I don't know about you, Jared.
So I think before I get into how many games it's going to take, I'll pick who I think is going to beat it first. And as Tom was talking about, the matchups is a big like deal with all of this.
Sure is.
I'm actually going to pick Matthew Stafford to beat it first. And the reason I say this, like he pointed out, the Bills and Rams both have really good defenses, really good secondaries. Yes. But the Falcons, me and Tom talked about this in the picks episode. They have one of the worst teams in the league, one of the worst defenses. And what is very slept on, the Cardinals probably have the worst secondary in the entire NFL, if not very close to it. I like Budda Baker, but outside of that, they have a bunch of nobodies that, like, I know football. I don't know, really recognize a lot of the names of the players on that secondary. It's a bunch of nobodies, and I think the Rams are going to feast in that game. And, obviously they have Cooper Kupp as well, which is going to help out get his passing yards up. So I do have the Matthew Stafford moving up like first. And I would say, kind of like Tom said, I think it will take probably I'll say 4 games as well, somewhere in the 4th game.
Matthew Stafford in 4, okay. And I know this question seems a little bit off. The reason I picked 11th is because Aaron Rodgers is in 10th place, so I thought it would be kind of hard to have a moving target for him in 10th place. So that's why I picked John Elway. He's at number 11 right now. I think
that's fine. That's where he's at.
So,
I'll let you go, Jose. I do want to make a point to what Jared just said, though. But go ahead. I'll let you go first.
Well, you guys have laid out a lot of, the schedules are a little bit off, like that really takes into account a lot. For me, like you guys have laid out all the facts pretty well. For me, I think, I'm back and forth. Like, as I was about to say Josh Allen, I'm like, Matthew Stafford. I was like,
that's your MVP, right?
Who, Matthew Stafford?
Yes.
Was he my MVP?
Yeah.
Josh Allen was my MVP, and I didn't pick him.
Josh Allen wasn't Allen my MVP? Oh, I have Patrick Mahomes. No, maybe. Matthew Stafford's your MVP. That's when we figured out his name is John.
That's why. That's why I like calling from like, hey, what are you about to do? Go call. Okay, you know what? Matthew Stafford it is, and I would say, you know what? I was gonna say 3 games, but now let's make it 5 games for him. So
3 games. But what do you think he's gonna average 500 yards?
No, I was gonna say 3 games, but I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna say 5 games. So go ahead, Jed. Go ahead.
The only thing I was gonna add on was just, hey, like I know I just made I want to say a pretty okay point on the fact that Josh Allen is gonna face tougher defenses, which might actually go in the favor of Josh Allen because they might need him to throw the ball second half or the 4th quarter of the game, as opposed to Matthew Stafford might not need to. He might just start handing off the ball a lot more because they're not facing that fierce of defenses. They might have a big lead ahead of the time and just start handing the ball off more. So that argument, I guess, can go pretty opposite too. So
to counterpoint your counterpoint.
So to my original point.
Yes. So we're kind of like ignoring the first week, but so for the Falcons and the Titans, yes, the Falcons are a bad team. That's probably not going to be a shootout. But the Titans, I don't think the Bills are going to get that many chances to actually pass the ball because the Titans run the ball so much that they run out a lot of the clock running the ball. And the Dolphins, I think, honestly have a very, very good secondary. You got Xavier Howard, Byron Jones when he's healthy, and, Javon Holland, who is one of the best young safeties in football. I think it'll be close, yes, but I think Matthew – I don't know. I can't. It could go either way, but I'm going to stick with Matthew Stafford.
All right, so it's 2 Matthew Staffords versus me, Josh Allen?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Jose picked his MVP. You picked against your MVP.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, the MVP doesn't matter the first few weeks. It's if whoever ends the strongest is winning MVP.
Fair enough.
That's fair. For everybody watching right now, it's going to be on our page. I'm going to put it on all the socials and everything. We're going to keep track of this. We're going to make sure to see who gets there first and when. So it's going to be a little fun one to track down. Second thing, we're going to go to our running backs. In this category, I just went with running backs, starting running backs on each team. So Devin Singletary, They're youngins right now, but their achievements, I kind of changed them up a little bit. So Cam Akers, running back number 1, and the question is, what happens first? For Devin Singletary to overtake Ron Dane in the all-time rushing yards, I'll put him in 250th place all time. Or Cam Akers, because Cam Akers, obviously we know he was out last year, so does he get back to rookie form? And by that, he rushed for 625 yards in his rookie year. So I think that would be a good barometer. There's not a lot to go on. I know he played in the playoffs, but that's a really small sample size right there. So I'll give you guys more information because I know it's always helpful to gather that. So for Devin Singletary, he's currently at 23.32. My screen is really small, so I'm going to widen it up a little bit. 23.32 yards rushing. He needs 1,391 yards to surpass Ron Dane, and he's averaging 51 a game. So this is a little bit longer time period, so I didn't put all the teams down. It would be like maybe 14 teams, and it would require him to do something he hasn't done before, which is I think his average is rushing about 800 yards. I didn't put that in there, but I don't think he's rushed over 1,000 yards. Or Cam Akers averaged 48 game.
48 yards a game.
Yeah, and I didn't do the math, and I didn't do the slide. So now let me see here. I don't have all the data for Cam Akers. Well, that's color me silly right now. Based on that, y'all want to just chime in, and I'll do some more research here for a moment.
Yeah,
I missed that slide.
I had a quick question. When it says and surpasses 625, does that mean when he gets 625 in total, or
625 for the season? His rookie season, that's what he rushed for. So to surpass that, his challenge would be to get back to rookie form. Get better than rookie form. So I'm wondering, it's basically an over/under question on that.
I'll go first based on Tom went first last time. I don't really like either of these running backs. I think Cam Akers, after he tore his Achilles and came back, he had a fumbling problem before, and it got even worse in the playoffs. They almost lost playoff games because he couldn't hold on to the football. But with that being said, the yards he has to get is a lot less than Singletary's, and I don't think Singletary is a bad running back, but I also think the Bills are going to use 3 different running backs with Zach Moss, him, and they just drafted James Cook, Dalvin Cook's brother, in the 3rd or 4th round. So they're going to split carries a lot. Cam Akers, I can't think of another Rams running back off the top of my head right now. So with that being said, I feel like this is quite an easy question. I'm going with Cam Akers to get over 625.
That's fair. They're not all going to be super sciencey, but you know what? That's a fair point. And I think that's why I only wrote one stat for him. He averages 48 a game, and that's only in his first season. The second season, he was out in the first game, so it's kind of hard to have a lot of stats for him, to figure out. But I think it is a more achievable achievement without sounding redundant. And Devin Singletary, for him to do that, would require him about 14 games. So we'll see if he also stays healthy during that time. Tom, what do you think?
Again, very straightforward, very simple for me too. I got to go with Akers. I don't. Mm-hmm. It's only 625 yards away. To me, it's very much more doable than Singletary. He's got to play about 27 games if he's averaging 51 yards per game to get there. I think Cam Akers can. The Rams have very fancy way of finding ways to run the football. Yes, he ran into a fumbling problem. We saw that in the playoffs. Almost cost him the game against the Buccaneers in the playoffs. But I think, and I'm sure if the Rams didn't cut him, they very much see something in him still that he can contribute to the team. So, yeah, I got to go with Akers getting 625.
Seems reasonable to me. I think, it's more achievable for me for the same reasons you guys have outlined right there. I'm going to go with Cam Akers as well. And I don't know how many games, maybe half the season, I think. He's averaging 48
I
a
think
game.
It'll be longer than that because I feel like the kind of the basis for yards for running back, for good running backs, is the 1,000-yard mark, and that's over half that. I don't know if I could even see him getting to 1,000 yards. I could see him more in the 800 range, maybe. So I would say probably towards the end, last 4 weeks would be whenever he gets it.
Seems fair. I think. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, at the end of the day, don't forget these are running backs.
Yeah.
Hope they stay healthy.
Big time. I think his first season for Cam Akers, he only played in like 13 games. So in order to, if he keeps the same pace at 48 yards a game, he would have to play 14 games. So he both would have to do something they've never done before. So hopefully we'll see what happens down the line. Anyways, moving on to our next category is the wide receivers. You guys know who that is, right? Stefon Diggs.
Stefon Diggs. That's like interesting one.
And
I'm going Cooper Kupp. Don't even read the statistics. Don't need them.
You got to know the stats first, sir. You can't just go off of name recognition. Just kidding. Or because he was that Super Bowl MVP. What happens first? Stefon Diggs overtakes Tommy McDonald in all-time receiving yards. This moves him into 91st place. Or Cooper Kupp overtakes Heath Miller. Yes, the Heath Miller. That's moving him into 181st place. Obviously, Cooper Kupp's played a little bit less time than Stefon Diggs. So, what are the stats?
Yes, double the position.
Yeah. So, Stefon Diggs is currently at 7,383 yards, receiving yards. He needs 1,027 yards to surpass Tommy McDonald. And he averages 71 a game. This is his whole career. His career average right there. Cooper Kupp currently at 5,517 receiving yards. He needs 1,052 to surpass Heath Miller. And he averages, that's right, 77 yards a game. So, and y'all know the teams, the first 5 teams I play, obviously. And as far as the averages on this, I think it would take about 13, 14 games to get to those receiving yards. So, whoever wants to take this one first.
Tom, you want to go or you want me to go?
Dude, you can go. I'm still thinking about this one.
Okay, so for me, I think it's very obvious where I'm going. You know, Cooper Kupp, my favorite wide receiver of all time. I love Cooper Kupp. He gets the ball a lot. He gets a lot of targets, a lot of catches. Stefon Diggs I think he had the record or was close to the record for most receptions in a season a couple of years ago, like his first year in Buffalo. But at the same time, he didn't his yards wise was still good, but he wasn't close to 2,000 yards like Cooper Kupp was. Cooper Kupp gets a lot of yak, and I think the same is going to be said this year. And going back to the teams they're playing against, the Rams have a lot worse secondaries they're going against than Buffalo is. Matthew Stafford, from his time in Detroit and last year in LA, he's shown he likes to feed the same, his number one receiver quite often. Josh Allen likes to spread the ball a little bit more. So I'm going to go with Cooper Kupp on this one.
Gotcha. One thing to add on that too. These are also when he needs 1,027 yards. These are Stefon Diggs has surpassed 1,000 yards in his last 4 seasons. He's gone over 1,000 yards. So it's it's one of those where it's quite achievable. At the rate he's going right now with the quarterback he has. So, but yeah, I see what you mean with Cooper Kupp. He is averaging just slightly more yards than him, but I think with both of them, they're achievable goals, and I think within the time frame that we're discussing here, it'd be nice to see where they move up on the list. So, Tom,
this one is way too close for me that I just did the math on it. So it's less than a game away on when these guys will hit these yard marks based on their average, and it looks like Cooper Kupp is going to hit it a game before Stefon Diggs can hit the mark. I have to go with Kupp, not just because of the math, but also I think Jared made a really good point. Stafford, I'm pretty sure it was Jared that just said it. Stafford likes to go to his same number one receiver quite often versus Josh Allen going to somebody else. My only fear is 2 years in a row we've seen what Cooper Kupp can do, and I wonder how defenses might double team him as much as they can and risk having other players open. So we'll see. Halftime, yay!
Halftime.
So we'll see. But yeah, and then the only other thing that fears me once again, I think Josh Allen is on a mission to prove himself, and I think I don't know if he's going to win it all, but he really, really wants it for that team and himself. So he might also, and we know Diggs. I still remember it was Stefon Diggs that went out and watched the Chiefs trophy presentation after the AFC Championship game. So he's also on a mission. So this one is probably the toughest one out of so far. Can go either way, but I have to go with Cooper Kupp too.
Fair enough. It also shows Cooper Kupp has only gone over 1,000 yards twice. So they're pretty,
Cooper Kupp
twice.
also. Stefon Diggs was. I mean, he was a late round pick, but he's also been in the league a lot longer. Kupp was also a late round pick. He's only really been like the guy for a couple of seasons, which is the 2 seasons he's gotten over 1,000 yards. So I think, you can look into it. But basically, since he's been the guy, he's surpassed 1,000 yards.
If Cooper Kupp can hit 1,000 yards with Jared Goff as his quarterback, I think he's a pretty darn good receiver. Let's just put it that way.
That's fair. I mean, but one last, I love my stats. I'm just saying. I know Stefon Diggs has played a lot longer, but 1,000 yards in more than half of the time he's played. So 5 seasons out of 8. So Cooper Kupp, 2 seasons out of 6, 3, 5, 3 out of 5, 2 out of 5. So math. Who has the math? 40% versus 80%, or
something like that.
Is that right? You guys know what I'm talking about. Anyways, just wanted to throw out some more math because I like math and it's great for numbers and everything. So, for me, I'm going to go with Stefon Diggs. I think he's done a little bit more, and
you are less than 10% off. You know that, right? On the 1,000 yard average thing.
1,000. So 5 out of 8 would make it about 60%. Is that correct?
I'm a math guy, so don't even ask me.
I'll do the math later. Go ahead.
I do think that these are both very viable options. Basically, they're all both going to surpass that this season if they stay healthy. So basically, whoever starts the season off better is who's going to get it. Is basically what this comes to.
Yeah, I mean, we know their schedule for the first 5 games, and that's it's a little bit hard to get that running start right there. But I think if anybody can do it, it's these guys. They're there for a reason, and they got good quarterbacks, good wide receivers. They can get the ball. So it's just a matter of staying consistent throughout the whole, once you get that running start, see what happens after that. So we got 2 for – wait, did you pick Diggs, Tom? Or did you pick Cooper Kupp?
I went with Kupp.
You picked Kupp also, Jared?
Yeah, obviously.
He always
I'm
picks
the lone soldier. I'm the lone soldier. I'm over here with Diggs. Okay, I got Diggs on mine. So we'll keep track of all these and see how they move along the season. Yes, as everybody noticed, we are in past halftime mode, so this is pretty good. We're on the downhill climb, and our next Thursday night thinker is – that's right, Mr. Von Miller right there. Yeah, that man's a beast. He's still going, still being strong. He's going up against the defensive player of the year, best defensive guy ever. But they're pretty close. I did the question right here based on where they are in the rankings right now. So the question is, what happens first? Can Von Miller overtake Clyde Simmons in all-time sacks, moving him into a 2-way tie with Simeon Rice? Yes, the Simeon Rice, 20th place. Or can Aaron Donald overtake Jim Jeffcoat in all-time sacks, thus moving into a 3-way tie with Kevin Gardner and Neil Smith in 30th place? That's right, Aaron Donald is that close to Von Miller stats. Wow, I put them all on one slide. Von Miller currently at 115.5 sacks. He would need 6.5 sacks to surpass. He's averaging 0.77 a game in his career. Okay. I know his last few years have been a little bit on the decline. Aaron Donald's currently at 98 sacks, right behind him, close to behind him. And he needs 5 sacks to surpass, and he's also averaging 0.77 a game. So I know who Aaron Donald is, so I know what Von Miller has done. So this one.
Do you have the list of who they're playing again?
I can't. Well, I mean, it was what was it? I can go back to the slide with the quarterbacks.
I know the Rams. It was Bills, Falcons, Cardinals.
I had the list here.
Killing me. 49ers, and then I cannot think of the 5th one.
I got you right here. So
Tennessee.
Bills are playing
Titans
the Rams.
Was for the Bills.
And then Titans at Bills. So Bills are playing Titans next, Dolphins, and then Ravens, and then Steelers. So that's for the Bills. And then as far as the Rams, I can just get the stats for you guys. Schedule. Rams are playing the Buffalo Bills, and then they're playing the Falcons, Cardinals, 49ers, and Cowboys.
This is probably the hardest one we've had yet. I'm not going to lie. Also, before I give an answer, I just want to point out how insane it is that they average the same amount of sacks per game when one of them is like one of the best edge rushers of all time, and one of them is a defensive tackle, which is way harder to get sacks from a defense. Like defensive tackles aren't supposed to get sacks like that, which is super bizarre. Just goes to show how good Aaron Donald is as a player.
Oh yeah, big time. Like they're just monsters.
I think I know my answer.
Did you go by math? Because it's the same. Well, no, kind of. Not really. 6.5 and 5, yeah.
I think I know my answer. And you want me to go, Jared? Because you look very lost right now.
I have a gut answer, but I don't know if I want to go with it. But I went first like the last 2 times, so I'll let you go.
I was going to just jump up and take Aaron Donald because he only needs 5 sacks. And Aaron Donald is Aaron Donald. But I'm looking, the reason I asked, hey, who do these teams play is because I wanted to know how quickly these guys can get a sack in. And I look at the Rams. They play the Bills. Josh Allen is hard to tackle. He can run. Falcons, Marcus Mariota, not that great of a quarterback, but he can take off and run. Cardinals, Kyler Murray can run. If Trey Lance starts, I'm pretty sure he can also run, so can Dak Prescott. The Bills play Titans, who's Tannehill, who used to be a wide receiver. Can he run? Yes, but does he run out of pocket as often as some of these other quarterbacks? No. And then they play the Dolphins. Tua doesn't run out of pocket like that. And they also end up playing the Steelers because the Ravens, Lamar can run, but Steelers, Mitch Trubisky also doesn't run out of the pocket quite often as that. So I think Von Miller will have more opportunities with pocket passers to get sacks in than Aaron Donald will to go chase down a quarterback and get sacks in. So I'm going to go with Von Miller.
Yo, this guy just went beautiful mind on this thing. That was a beautiful breakdown.
Slight counterpoint about the Mitch thing. I think Mitch can run and he will run. Nagy didn't let him run, but a good coach like Mike Tomlin will play to his strengths, which is moving outside of the pocket. And people gloss over Mitch is one of the most athletic quarterbacks in the league. Like, I don't think anyone talks about it enough, and I feel like he will get out of the pocket. And I really liked your point of view. It very much nearly convinced me to go Von Miller, but I think I'm honestly going to stick with Aaron Donald and go for the Rams 4 for 4 on all of these.
And listen, 1.5 sacks. If it was 0.5 difference, I think for sure Von Miller, and I'm still sticking with Von Miller, but it's 1.5 sack is hard. That's a big difference to me too. So I don't know. It's very tough. It's very
the reason I'm picking Aaron Donald in this is, I guess because he's a Rams player. It makes sense. I have to go 4 for 4 now. But besides that, you were looking at the quarterbacks and how agile they were and how much they got out of the pocket, which makes perfect sense. And that's a very good point. But also with the offensive lines that the Rams are going against are a lot worse than the ones the Bills are going against. And Von Miller, while I think is a great player and he's one of, the best pass rushers, at least that I've seen probably of all time, he also, I feel like, starts slow to every season and doesn't really pick it up until towards the end, especially in the playoffs. Playoff Von Miller is like a different beast.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I'm going to go with Aaron Donald on this one. I think it'll be close given, edge rusher versus defensive tackle. But Aaron Donald is still Aaron Donald. And against that Falcons offensive line alone, he's probably going to get quite a few sacks. So I'm going to go with Aaron Donald on this one as well.
Very nice. Well, I mean, aside from that breakdown Tom just gave, I like to go with the old vet, I like to go with the seasoned vets and try to make one more run at it. I think you can take this guy and get to 6.5 before. I don't know how fast he can get there, but I'm guessing. 6.5, 0.77 a game through his career. I think he can do that. Those first 5 games for the Rams, that's going to be very indicative right there. I guess we can find out right away tonight. We'll see how Aaron Donald starts if he sacks.
Right? Watch there be like 5 sacks tonight and just
call
it a day.
He's going to break the record for sacks in a game and prove me right.
That could happen, so you never know. So we'll see how that breaks down. I'm going to go with Von Miller on this one, though. So I don't know how many games, but I think you can get there. And then that brings us into tonight's game, Thursday night picks. It'll be a fun game. I can't believe football is back in America and everything. So let's see right here. I'm going to let you pick first, Tom. Would you like to break down a little bit about tonight's game?
Well, first of all, who's playing tonight? I'm just joking.
I was like,
All right. So we got the Buffalo Bills traveling to LA, right across the country, all the way to take on the Rams, Super Bowl champs. Banners getting, pulled down today, put down today, hung today. Banners being hung today. So this is a tough choice. I kind of went back and forth a lot because the Rams are playing at home. They still have Aaron Donald. They just won the Super Bowl. I had to go with the Bills, though. I think the Bills are going to win the game. And look, a average quarterback can go into a playoff game, lose, and come back with a hangover. A great leader or a great quarterback can go into a playoff game, lose, and come back stronger. I think Josh Allen is a very good leader, and he's a great quarterback, and I think he can come back and fight hard. I already mentioned him posting what he posted. I know that doesn't necessarily have to mean much, but I think there is something in the back of his head telling him to play tougher and harder than he did last year, which last year he did really good. And that team, my biggest fear is their Dayball's gone, but we'll see how that works out for them. The Rams, on the other hand, look, Cooper Kupp is back. All the key good players are back, but OBJ is not, and I think that was a key factor that we often sometimes forget about, especially when it came to the playoffs and towards the end of the season. And then on top of that, the Rams have less to prove. They just won a Super Bowl. They might be on the hype, but there could be a Super Bowl winner's hangover there. Could be very wrong. At the end of the day, I had to go with the Bills to win this game. My gut feeling is the Bills are going to pull off an upset, and we'll see.
I did hear also that Matthew Stafford, I don't know if this is true. Maybe it's just a pick somebody put. He got a Super Bowl ring and an Instagram account in the last 48 hours or 24 hours, I think it is.
Yes.
So, I mean, he's keeping busy right now. Is he focused on the game? Who knows? Just kidding. Maybe he is. But, not bad. Solid pick. Let you pick next, Jared. Would you like to do a breakdown?
I don't know how obvious this is. I will say this. Whenever we were doing our Super Bowl picks and whatnot, I was very, very tempted to make it a Rams-Bills Super Bowl like I predicted last season. And I was super close to. That's what my brain was telling me to do the entire time. Within my gut was like, you know what? No, Chargers, that is a Super Bowl winning team. So I changed it last second. I still think, honestly, from how I feel, the Rams and the Bills are probably the two best teams in football. So I think this could honestly go either way. It's such a toss-up because both these teams are super good, and it's probably going to be a very, very close game. Tom did mention, the Rams did lose OBJ, which is a big loss, yes, but they also added Allen Robinson, which as a Bears fan, I know how underrated and underappreciated he was. Last season, he didn't care at all because no one could care in that Matt Nagy offense. But the years before that, when he was in Chicago, he was a top receiver. He doesn't get you the yak like a Diggs or a Kupp does, but he can go up and get it better or just as good, if not better, than anyone else in the league. And I think Robinson's a very underrated acquisition by the Rams, which I think while you're watching this game, keep an eye out for Robinson. I think he's going to have a pretty big game. And, obviously Cooper Kupp, I'm going to keep hyping up Cooper Kupp until I retire from talking sports. I love Cooper Kupp. And I was going back and forth on this. Obviously, I'm going with the Rams, but I think it's going to be very, very close. I love the Rams. They're kind of my backup favorite team since the Bears, aren't ever very good. I think that the Rams are going to win this one, but I think it will be a very, very close and very, very good game.
Sounds pretty good. We almost hit the slots again right there, but we couldn't get all three. But that's okay, though. Maybe we can still get our money back. It'll be a fun game, though, for sure. I think, I don't know how to start describing my pick without just flat out saying who I want to pick. But
Just say it. Create that
I'm
sandwich. I already know who you picked, bro.
you already know that. I didn't tell you. Did I tell
I
you?
think I don't know. I have a.
Oh, I sent the email. Of course you do.
Oh
Oh
yeah, you
man,
did. That's right. That's why I
there's
know
no
who you
hiding
picked.
anything from you guys. But it's a close game, obviously. But isn't it funny though that Buffalo is going across the country to go play in LA and they're favored.
Hold on. Why did you add red to your Buffalo and not to mine? I feel discriminated against right now.
Well, the thing what happened was
you picked the pictures.
Well, yeah, that's a good question. I don't know why. I don't know why. Maybe I picked two different logos. I don't know.
It's
Maybe
okay. I forgive you.
You know what? I probably looked up. I don't know. That's a great question. That's funny though. Hey, but it gives it a little bit of a depth, right there. So it's kind of cool how it looks. But what I was gonna say is, it is fourth quarter, by the way. I'm gonna go ahead and take that down for everybody who knows. Funny how Buffalo's going all the way across the country and they're favored. Money line's 135 minus 135 for Buffalo. So I know they're just numbers, and anybody can win anytime. But I don't know. Like I just think Buffalo's got a little more to prove. Yeah, like you said, last season it's kind of hard to go through that and everything. So I think Josh Allen comes out, chip on his shoulder. He doesn't even need that. He just comes out normal and plays all out. And I don't know, maybe the Super Bowl champs get socked in the face and it starts bad off for him. So that's my pick for right now. Any further thoughts on this game for you guys?
One thing I want to point out, which I think we had talked about on one of our episodes like a week or two ago, was Matthew Stafford's elbow. He has I don't know what exactly is wrong with his elbow.
Tendonitis.
Was it tendonitis? Yeah. He actually came out in an interview a couple of days ago or whatever and said his elbow actually feels better now than it did last year. And he said something along the lines of he played with a hurt elbow basically the entire season last year. And, he still had a really, really good year, obviously, and won a Super Bowl. And if he's feeling better than that, I think that's a good, a good sign. But like I said, this would probably be the least confident of any of the games that we picked that I'd be on. I could very well see either of these teams winning, but yeah, it's a great, honestly, one of the best games to start off with the season is two of the, if not the best teams in football.
I just want to say that I don't necessarily see any quarterback going into an interview saying his elbow feels worse.
I mean, yes, I understand that, but they don't have to say anything.
That's true. That's fair.
To follow up on your point, though, yeah, he did have a really good season last year, and he was hurting through that part of the season. He came out second in touchdown passes, so not a bad year considering your elbows hurting. One thing I don't know is he's had troubles through this offseason. They've kind of rested his training camp. He hasn't really gone all out. They've kind of managed the pain, make sure that he's good. And then all of a sudden this morning, I think is when I heard, oh, by the way, elbow feels good. I find that kind of troubling right there. I know he's my MVP. I know I picked him, but I'm like, that didn't need to be said, in my opinion. I think I don't know who asked the question. Maybe somebody asked the question or something, whatever it is. But it's it kind of makes me think a little bit. Why are they mentioning that right now? Does it make you guys think that?
I don't, because you can be picky and all that with basically any interview question ever. I like to not look too much into it. I kind of take things at face value when it comes from interviews. I mean, I can see where you're coming from, but I think it's probably a good sign that he's that confident in the health of his elbow more so than it's you didn't have to say it kind of a thing.
Yeah. I think if it was just addressed out of the blue without being questioned about it, then hey, why are you even bringing it up right now? But if it was just an answer to a question, then you know what? Maybe he is feeling better. We'll see. And yeah, resting is one of the best options when you do get tendonitis. So I'm sure the Rams win the smart way on it. But we'll see. We'll see what happens throughout the season.
Pretty good. Not bad, guys. Seems like we got it. Football starts here shortly, so I'm pretty excited to get into this game and see what's going on. But for everybody else, make sure you follow us, guys. Follow on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Cool Sports Guy. Make sure you share with all your friends and comment down below. Make sure to see what you guys are thinking, what you guys think about the hypotheticals. And we're going to be following those along the way and see how we pan out. We'll try to do different scenarios along the way, Thursday night matchups, and see what goes on. But any closing thoughts for the season? Any deep thoughts from anybody?
Can I just say something completely off topic?
Yes, please do.
I meant to say this in our last week's episode, and then I totally forgot because I saw that James White, the running back for the New England Patriots, retired. I just want to give him a quick shout out because I just feel like he's such an underrated running back because New England always have a bunch of random running backs come in and out. He went into the league in 2014, did not even start a single game that season, but he was the most clutch player in the biggest comeback, Super Bowl comeback in NFL history. He's never lost a fumble either. Very reliable, very great player, fantastic running back, and he was able to catch the balls from the backfield. And I just forgot to mention it last week. Just want to give him a quick shout out. Fantastic career. 3 Super Bowl rings, by the way.
Very nice, very nice. It's a good, stellar career right there for sure. What about you, Jarrett?
Help me win along.
I don't have anything on par with what Tom just said, hyping up a retired player. I guess to add something is the media is blowing way out of proportion how bad the Bears are this year, and I'm just gonna say I don't think we're gonna be a contender, but don't sleep on the Bears, and I'll just leave it at that.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't really heard a lot of people talking about the Bears, so that's not no offense, but I'm just saying.
I don't remember the dude's name. There was some dude on Twitter who's like has his own show on ESPN, and he came out today and said that Justin Fields should demand a trade because they have a terrible cap situation and put no talent around him, even though right now in salary cap, we're like 12th in the league with $6.5 million. And next offseason, we're going to be first with over $100 million in cap space. So the man has no idea what he's talking about.
It's almost double the number 2 cap space.
Yeah, like the man has no idea what he's talking about, obviously. And he gets paid, tons of money on ESPN to talk his gibberish that is garbage. And
shots fired.
My man's bad. He didn't do 30 seconds of research, and it's just annoying.
It's been known to happen. Yes, I hear you there, man. Sounds pretty good, guys. Well, cool. Well, I'm excited to get into this football season, see how the games play out. And so tomorrow night, we're gonna have you guys on doing your picks. Yep. So follow in. Make sure. Obviously, we already know Thursday night picks and everything, but you guys are gonna break down. The rest of the weekend, right? Sunday and Monday. And we'll go from there. All right,
we'll
guys.
Have all the picks besides the Thursday one, which we spoke about today. So,
yeah, sounds pretty good. All right. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and sign off. It's good seeing everybody. And see you guys next time on Cool Sports Guy.
Bye-bye.